Alright, there we go. Looks like everything is going... Apologies for the late delay, everyone, but I was suddenly, for some reason, having a few connection issues. But we are here nonetheless, and welcome along to Formula 2 here for Breakout Racing League, round 20 out of 24. And we arrived at Melbourne, Australia. Well, the Australian Grand Prix, 16 corners that make up this track, which was known as a season opener back before. Well, unfortunately, 2021 didn't exactly have that. It was allocated on the calendar, but it unfortunately did not happen. But we will see here, needless to say. 16 corners that make up this track, 3 DRS zones, 1 going into turn 1 on the main straight. Then directly after going into turn 3, those will be your 2 main overtaking opportunities, and where you'll probably see the most action in this race. You got the 3rd DRS zone, which is after the fast chicane of turn 11 and turn 12, which is known to be very, very tricky, especially in these cars. It's the first time in a long while the Breakout Racing League has raced here at Melbourne, and well, let's just hope we get nothing short of non-stop action. So, it is Drix on pole position here for the sprint race ahead of Alphanesis, Hoopalicious in 3rd ahead of Feta Cheese. Bois lines up 5th ahead of DeBees, then Meanfern, Chili, Taylor, Port, Days Freak, rounding off the 11 drivers that we have. Hopefully 12, as Cam is saying that he might join. We'll have to watch out for that. And in case you haven't noticed a new name, I did call it out. Chili has just joined the league as of recently and has joined Formula 2. We'll see what he can do on his debut race here at Albert Park as we get ready now to already form up on the grid. 12 laps of racing, no pit stop is mandatory, and we'll see what this race can provide. Drix on pole, Alphanesis on the front row, and what can Taylor and Port do from the 5th row respectively? We'll have to find out. Dace Freak will line up in P11 for this race. Five red lights are on. It's lights out, and away we go. A bit of a slow start for the Trident there, but the front 2 get away well. Drix gets actually a much better start compared to Alphanesis and leads into turn 1 quite comfortably. Then Hoopalicious actually going around the outside of Alphanesis and moves himself up into P2. Now Feta Cheese is already going alongside. There's a bit of shuffling going on for the back. DeBees is round. But other than that, mostly everyone getting away cleanly. Drix from Hoop, from Feta, Alphanesis down to 4th, not the best of starts he would have wanted. Taylor is already up to 5th, a great start from the Unite Virtuosi. Chili P6, Port P7 ahead of Meanfern and Bois. Days Freak in the top 10. Alphanesis and Feta going at it. That is a terrible camera angle. Feta manages to go do the switchback, I think, and makes the move up into P3. Great move. Meanwhile, Hoopalicious is diving down the inside into turn 9, now into turn 10. But Drix is just able to cover it off, but he gets a bad exit, and that allows Hoop to get a much better run out of the corner. And he now leads here at Albert Park ahead of Drix, Feta, Alphanesis. Port made a move on Meanfern, and he is now up into P6. Meanfern now having a bit of pressure from Chili behind. Meanwhile, further up front, Alphanesis, Taylor Clan, and Feta all going at it. Taylor is actually looking to dive down the inside, but he's just going to have to stay behind for the time being. Alphanesis getting a little bit squirrely on the exit, but so far managing to keep it on track for the time being, and we'll have to slot behind in P4. Hoop, though, from 3rd on the grid, I believe, he has now had a beautiful start up 2 positions and leads the first lap of 12. Sets the fastest lap for good measure. Obviously, it is the first lap of the race, so that is expected. But he got the jump, and he is now leading, trying to build a gap on Drix behind. Drix now slowly trying to cover off Feta. Meanwhile, Taylor and Alphanesis going at it. Alphanesis having the inside into turn 3. Looks like he will be able to get the position. Just shoves Taylor wide, and Taylor is still able to cover off his teammate Port and championship rival. I would tell you championship standings, but I do not have them. All I know is that I believe Taylor Clan is actually gaining on Port the past couple of races. I'll have to check up on that, but I'm not 100% sure. DeBees is into the pits, interestingly. I believe he might have had a front wing broken off. And now he is relegated down to P11, and that is not the start he wanted for this race. Back over to the lead, though. Hooplicious building already a 1 second gap to Drix, the 1 second gap that he needs for DRS. DRS drag reduction system opens on lap 3. The 3 DRS zones that I said before, well, they'll be activated around there. You have to be within 1 second of the car in front of you in order to use it, in which right now, from 2nd all the way down to 6th, that is definitely the case. Yellow flag in Sector 1, I believe that's for DeBees. But I'm just looking at this train right now ooh, Port gets a little bit squirrely there. Taylor has gotten a 3 second time penalty already on lap 2. Not the start he would have wanted in this race, and he's going to have to live with that for the entire race, as you can't really remove that unless there was an illegal part of it. Hooplicious did set the fastest lap, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Oh, there's contact between drivers. I believe that's for Alphanesis and Feta. Yes, it is. I just caught that switch back. Alphanesis and Feta have collided in this race. What has gone on there? Meanwhile, back up front, Taylor Clan has now lost position to P3 to Port. Port has now had a great start. He's now up 7 positions in this race, and he's looking to make it 8 as he's challenging Drix already all over the back of the high-tech, but it's just nothing doing. Meanwhile, further back, Alphanesis and Bois going at it. And it looks like Alphanesis has gotten the position. Meanwhile, Port trying to go around the outside. He gets shoved off into the grass. And now into the gravel. That's lost the position to P3 and P4. Taylor Clan is trying to make amends for it. And is now on the inside of Drix. And he makes the move work. And he is now up into P2. And he's going to try and build that gap to Drix. But Drix, well, actually, he's got a 3 second time penalty. So it wouldn't matter whether he builds the gap or not. Drix has the DRS going into turn 12. But he is just a little bit too far back. That DRS straight is just not long enough for him. Just trying to think of what happened there between Alphanesis and Feta. I'm not 100% sure, but that was a very, very weird moment at turn 2. And well, that's relegated them both down, as Hooplicious now has a gap of 3.5 seconds over Taylor Clan. Taylor Clan looking to close that gap in the next coming laps. So looking over at the position change, Hoop up 2, Taylor Clan up 7. Drix is down 2 after starting for pole. Chili is up 4 positions, up into P4. Though he's under pressure, though, from Port behind. Port diving on the inside into turn 3. Is he able to make the move stick? Yes, he does. And now Port has made his way back up into the top 4. He's going to try and chase after Drix in this race. Chili now down to P5. Meanfern is up 1 position from starting in P7, but he's got pressure from Alphanesis behind, who's down 5. He was on the front row, but now due to that contact, he has front wing damage. You can see that on the left-hand side of his wing. He's got damage there, but it looks like that is definitely not affecting his performance as of right now, as he's already looking for a move on Meanfern ahead, and he could possibly be shaping up this move. Not quite, as Meanfern just managed into the slot ahead, but Alphanesis is trying to go for the move into the fast chicane. He thinks better of it and stays behind for now, but he's going to have the DRS now through the exit of the fast chicane, and that is an easy move there for Alphanesis. Meanfern trying to stick alongside, and he just about was sticking alongside, but he had the C position. Alphanesis back up into P6, and now he might have pressure from Feta behind. Feta's gained on these two. Despite that contact, he doesn't have front wing damage. Huh. Well then. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed about that. Port now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:36.0. And that is definitely he is definitely showing why he's the championship leader. And he wants to make amends for what's happened the past couple of races. Bit of a DRS train now forming between these drivers, between Alphanesis, Meanfern, and Feta. Oh, bit of a slide there from the Campos driver. But he manages to hold on to it, and we'll just have to build that gap back down to Meanfern ahead, in which Meanfern has managed to stay on the back of Alphanesis here. Looks like Alphanesis had a much better corner. Never mind. I was very much wrong. I am not the smart, so here we are. So far, these are the closest battles. Taylor Clan has managed to relegate himself out of the DRS of Drix behind, and now definitely help his race as he does not have any pressure from Drix anymore if he can continue to build that gap. Port is trying to gain on these two, so is Chili, but Chili falling a little bit far behind to these drivers ahead, and Alphanesis trying to make amends with that front wing damage, slowly gaining on Chili, is just outside of the DRS. DRS detection point for the main straight, and going into turn 3 is just directly before turn 14. Alphanesis was just outside of it, so he's just gonna have to stay behind for the time being unless Chili makes a mistake at turn 1 and 2. And it looks like he doesn't do that. He actually takes that very nicely indeed, I saw, from on board of Alphanesis. Alphanesis, though, still gaining on the car ahead. Port not entirely gaining much on Drix ahead. 2 seconds between the two. And so far, it's not been the best of times as of right now for the UNI Virtuosi. He still made up a lot of positions in this race, but it's just too little. He wants to be up there at the front, in which Hoopalicious is just absolutely running away with this as it stands right now. Meanwhile, Alphanesis and Chili now starting to go at it. Alphanesis really having good pace despite that front wing damage. And he's going to go for the move on Chili. On the left-hand side of the campus, it looks like he's going to get the move done before the fast chicane. No, Chili actually manages to stay alongside. Alphanesis with the inside, stays ahead. Neither one of them got DRS, interestingly. So that's a very interesting thing going on there. Actually, wait, Chili has damage. Not sure what's going on there. Meanwhile, Feta on the inside of Meanfern. Meanfern trying to hang it around the outside, and does so. And Meanfern has managed to hold position for P7. That was a great move. Chili has DRS on Alphanesis still. Oh, gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, for cutting the inside of turn 1. That is not going to help his race, as that will relegate him down to P8, because Meanfern and Feta, who are both going at it, Feta having the inside into turn 3, and that looked like an easier move compared to the one he did at turn 13, and Feta has now moved himself back up into the top 7. DeBees gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting, and he's actually out of the race. What has happened to the Trident? Yellow flag in Sector 1 as well. Looks like that's maybe for DeBees. But looks like he's managed to keep it going. He's picked up a little bit of front wing damage. I'm going to go over to Hoopalicious here. Still leading this race, by the way. Never mind. I was going to say that I was going to go look over at turn 12, see what happened to DeBees. But the stewards, or the track marshals, rather, I should say, have cleaned it up rather quickly. And, well, that's done. It's getting a bit of news here, actually. I believe, eventually, I'll be joined by Carbon and an eventually. So, I'm going to try and see if he's online. Excuse me, I may be paused for a little bit, so bear in mind that I am just trying to get Carbon in here. It doesn't seem that he's online as of yet, so we're gonna have to wait for him. Maybe he'll invite me to a party and then I'll join in. That might be the case. We'll have to wait and see. Feta now looking to dive on the inside of Chili, actually. Just managed to cut that. He's trying to go around the outside into turn 4, but Chili having the inside. He's managing to stay ahead. Gets a 3-second time penalty, though, for good measure as he cut the inside in turn 4. That's not going to help his race. Meanwhile, up ahead, what's happened to Drix? Drix has got front wing damage, and now Port is up to P3. That is significant damage, actually, for the high-tech. What has happened here for Drix? that's now going to lose him a lot of time. And, well, I suspect that he would pit. Unless he's brave. Which wouldn't surprise me. Feta now all over the back of Chili now for P6. He's going to try and go around the outside into turn 12. Obviously, the DRS now powerful, but it's just powerful enough for Feta. Trying to dance around the outside, but Chili just mentioned it. Hang on. Feta will grab the position, though, and he's now up into P6. And Hoopalicious sets the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:35.9, and looks like that will stick. And you saw my co-commentator join there. He is here. So, I will invite him as soon as I can, which I'm going to do. Meanwhile, Chili and Carbon going at it. Actually, they are... not Carbon. Chili and Feta. It looks like he just ghosted right through. That was a weird moment there. Now I am inviting my co-commentator to the party. You should join next coming laps. Or not next coming laps. Soon. Let's just say soon. And there he is. My co-commentator is now here. Be sure to include your audio, obviously. Carbon, hello. You're here. Or are you? Oh, there we go.
I just had to include my audio real quick, but glad to be back at F2.
Okay.
It should be a great race here around Australia. I haven't been here at all in league racing, so I don't know how the track is for it, so just have to sit back and watch, I guess.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of action in the last couple of laps as Feta actually went around the outside of Chili at the fast chicane, and now Meanfern is trying to do so around the outside into turn 14, and he manages to get the move. Meanfern is now up into P7. I just caught the move, though, between Chili and Feta, and needless to say, Feta, what a move. As Drix is into the pits to change his front wing, I suspect, as he actually got front wing damage. That will most likely go for fastest lap. Actually, no, he's on the mediums. Where is he? Oh, no, never mind. They were just changing it. There it is. Super softs.
Yeah, I think definitely I can't do the math, but two full laps left to go that the softs would definitely be the smarter compound to go on.
Yeah, but that's definitely ruined his race. Let's not forget, due to the fact that this is a sprint race. You don't have to pit. And, well, he had to pit, and now he's relegated down to P9. And way outside of the points is Blois. Now he's back up into the points-paying positions by the looks of it. And that is not what Drix wanted. He was running up on the podium. And, well, that didn't last long, unfortunately. Just watching the two of Meanfern and Chili. Chili just not able to make the move. DRS is just not powerful enough for him. He's very late on the brakes, though, is the camp boss. Meanfern going a little bit wide there, though, at turn 12, or turn 13, actually, my mistake. But Chili, he's able to hold on. Hoopalicious gets a 3-second. That's actually something to note, though. Look at the amount of penalties. Not sure if you're there, or there, Carbon, or not.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the penalties right now.
Ooh.
Looks like Alphanesis, Bois, and Days Freak are the only ones to not have a penalty so far, which really could be helpful for Alphanesis. Well, actually, maybe not.
Yeah, he's just outside of the 3-second of port ahead, so
yeah,
nothing doing there.
Yeah,
but if there was a last couple of laps safety car, that definitely would have helped, as he would have been, he'd technically be leading this race if for that. But unfortunately not. Chili has now fallen at a DRS of Meanfern ahead, and he was not going to get the position out of the way due to him having 6 seconds compared to Meanfern's 3. But not. I would say it's a. I would say that's a decent performance for him in his debut race. Needless to say, Drix gets a 3-second, and that's not going to help him. I mean, he's clear of Days Freak, but yeah.
It looks like Days Freak is just exiting the pit lane now.
Oh, he is. You're right.
It looks like he might have had some wing damage.
Quite possibly. We're already on the last lap. This race has gone by rather quickly, and Hoop, after taking the first lap, taking the lead on the first lap, after starting in third, he has put in a commanding performance in this race, needless to say. Taylor, he set the fastest lap just a couple seconds ago. It's just not enough, though. Hoop, really showing his hand.
Yeah, it looks like definitely close racing from the top few, even though they're a little bit more spread out. I bet there were still some decent battles for position, and this Drix takes the fastest lap with a 34.4.
Unfortunately, he is outside of the top 8, so he won't grab those extra 2 points for grabbing the fastest lap. And, well, he'll just have to sit behind in P9, unless Bois makes a mistake, which I'm pretty sure Bois is just going to bring it home. But going through the last sector right now is Hoopalicious. Since taking the lead on lap 1 from Drix, he pulled a gap. And, well, needless to say, that gap has grown ever so slightly. And, well, it's been a commanding performance from the Primo driver here tonight, as Hoop is going to come across the line, and he's going to win the sprint race here in Australia. He wins the first race of the weekend. Taylor Clan will finish in P2, crucially gaining more points on his championship rival, Port. And Alphanesis will... Actually, Alphanesis grabbed a little bit more front wing damage. And, oh wait, no, that was Drix. I thought Feta got a 3-second time penalty, but Feta definitely got a little squirrely there. But he will finish in P5. Alphanesis P4. Meanfern will finish in P6. Chili, on his debut, finishes in P7. And needless to say, it's been a decent performance from the camp boss. Bois will come across the line. He hasn't finished in the points in the sprint race before. Well, he's done it. He has grabbed a singular point here at the Australian Grand Prix. He's taking it easy. And, well, that's worked for him. Drix from pole. And after damage, he actually picked up more damage. But it's not been the weekend for him. Dace Freak will finish P10. The Bees, the only retirement in this Grand Prix. There are winners and podium finishers here for the sprint race. Hooplicious, commanding performance from the Prima driver as he takes another win for himself. Taylor Clan, he'll just have to grab another podium, and Port will have to finish in P3. Where is that win going to come again for Port? We'll just have to find out. All-American podium, and needless to say, all smiles. Well, maybe not Port, as he actually had a moment with Drix by the looks of it. Classic banter going on in F2 chat. There are the final results. Hooplicious grabs the win, 4.3 seconds ahead of Taylor Clan. Taylor Clan and Port from the 5th row both grab podiums. A great performance from the two. Alphanesis just finishing off of the podium. Feta in P5 ahead of Meanfern. Chili grabs 2 points on his debut. It's been a decent race for him. Needless to say, Bois, he grabs a point for the first time in the sprint race. Drix actually does gain the 2 fastest laps. The 2 fastest laps? Sorry. The 2 points for fastest lap. And that'll just, I guess, lift his spirits a little bit. Days Freak, unfortunately, does not grab any points. And to be, as I said, the only retiree. And hello, Potato. So it looks like it's going to be an all-dry session. Pain. I wanted a bit of wet Don't take that weirdly. Please. If you do, you're wrong. But looking over at the starting grid, Port, he apparently grabbed pole position in qualifying. I missed it, unfortunately, because of, well, Xbox and F1 things. Taylor Clan on the front row. The two championship rivals will start on the front row alongside each other. That could be a spicy battle throughout this races. They're actually on alternate strategy between the two. Chili actually grabbed P3 in qualifying. They did better than I expected. So there we go. Chili, on his debut, he managed to grab a second row behind the two championship rivals. Meanfern will sit P4 just ahead of DeBees. Bois lines up P6 ahead of Feta. Hoopalicious in 8th. Alphanesis in P9. Drix in P10. Days Freak stays in P11. One thing that's interesting, though, Taylor Klein and Hoopalicious, mediums. How do you think that will pan out?
I think the alternate strategy could prove to be pretty good around here. I mean, they're able to go longer and pull a little bit more of a gap, which is a good thing. But if they get damage on lap 1, that also kind of puts them in a tricky position as they've gone on, as they put themselves onto a different strategy than what they had planned.
Yeah, it definitely would, and obviously there is a point in the race where that is the time where you can pit, from what I know, and if they have to pit on lap 1, that'll just absolutely ruin the races. That they have to pit twice, no matter what. So, if you're on the alternate strategy and you lose your entire front wing, that's just going to absolutely ruin your race. So, we'll just have to see if Taylor and Hoop can just keep it out of trouble. That's really what we're going to have to find out in this race. But, one thing I want to ask, what's your podium?
I think I'm gonna go with Taylor, Port, and I think, honestly, Meanfern.
Meanfern podium? I think he'll like that. I believe he missed out on the podium last week, actually, in realistic tier. And, well, he was my teammate at the time, and I wanted him to get on the podium, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So hopefully that can happen here tonight, as we are now lining up on the grid. Days Freak, the last to line up on the grid, and now getting ready for 5 red lights, as they now come on to the drivers ahead. It's lights out, and away we go. A pretty good start from Port. He manages to get the jump over Taylor Klein. Chili now trying to get alongside. Same with Meanfern, as he's now on the inside, but Chili dances around the outside, and Chili will grab P2. Port ahead of Meanfern, ahead of Taylor, so not the best of starts for the Unite Virtuosi. That's the Bees, Feta, Alphanesis, Hoop, Drix, Ball running out the top 10, and oh, there's a bit of ghosting going on there. DeBees has been relegated now down to P8 as Alphanesis trying to go around the outside of Feta. Does he manage to make the move stick? Yes, he does, sliding through turn 5. But he manages to make the move and is now into the top 5. So a decent start from the MP Motorsport. But Port already leading by 1.2 seconds. He's had a lightning start. Meanwhile, Taylor still hanging on to the back of Meanfern. But so far, for the most part, everyone keeping it easy.
Yeah, it looks like Taylor didn't have the best of the starts on those, what tires are those, mediums?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, it looks like he just didn't have the best start. And Port had a lot better start and was able to pull a gap, and Chili and Fern got past. Fern runs a little bit wide. That'll cost him a little bit of time.
Something that's also going to cost time is Taylor Klein on Meanfern ahead, as he's now under pressure from Alphanesis. Alphanesis trying to go around the outside of the penultimate corner. This would be a good move if he can pull it off, and you know what? He has made it work. So Alphanesis has made a beautiful move, needless to say, and he's now up into 4th, but Taylor Klein already looking to pressurize the MP Motorsport. He pulls to the left-hand side. Is he able to go around the outside into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Alphanesis stays ahead.
Yeah, and that was not only a sick move, but a sick first lap. He's already up.
It was.
He started P9 and is up into P4 now. Maybe even P3 here in a second.
Feta now on the inside. He's trying to go around the outside of TaylorClan, but can he manage to make the move stick? Remember, TaylorClan on the mediums, and Feta looks like he's got the move, but he still has to defend a little bit from Taylor, and it looks like he does so. So, Taylor is actually already been relegated down to 7th as Hoopalicious on the other person on the medium competitor. He's now up into P6. Where is the pace for TaylorClan? He is dropping. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so I just guess that the mediums for him aren't exactly lighting up in this race, which is not going to help him at all. Meanwhile, Alphanesis challenging Meanfern on the inside into turn 13. Can he late break the Trident? And it looks like he's going to do so. And does he manage to make the move? Yes, he does. Alphanesis from P8, I believe, no, P9?
Yep, P9.
All the way up to P3. Oh, look at me, Feta diving on the inside into turn 15. But he gets a little bit squirrely. Is now under pressure from Hoopalicious behind. Bit of contact between the two. But Feta just managed to stay ahead. And now TaylorClan is pressurizing Hoopalicious. They're going wheel to wheel down the main straight. Is TaylorClan going to get the move on Hoopalicious? Yes, he does. It's a hard race in there. Why did I go Texan there? Anyways, TaylorClan now under pressure from Hoopalicious once again, but Hoopalicious managed to dance around the outside, now on the inside, into turn 4, as Feta got ahead of Meanfern once again. Hoopalicious has now made the move on TaylorClan, and is back up into P6, as Drix goes wide and into the wall! Look like just getting back onto the track there has completely unsettled his car, and now he has front wing damage on the right-hand side. That has absolutely ruined his race.
Yeah, I think that's just
Didn't look like he made any contact either.
No, I think that's just a little case of commentator's curse. I was about to talk about.
Looks to be so.
Yeah, I was about to say that all the battling up front has allowed him to get his nose into the Meanfern Taylor hoop battle, but.
Well, speaking of Meanfern, Taylor, and Hoop and Taylor are going at it. Taylor on the inside into turn 14. They're just having a great battle, and it looks set to continue. Hoopalicious locking the rears a little bit, nearly slanting to the side of TaylorClan, now trying to go around the outside into turn 16, the final corner, and he manages to do so beautifully, I must say. But now, TaylorClan and Meanfern are going to have the DRS on Hoopalicious. Is TaylorClan able to move up to ahead of Hoopalicious? Yes, he does.
Oh.
And now he is back up into P5. And that's a spin for Taylor. Oh! And that's another spin as well for Bois as he hit the wall out of the exit of turn 2. Is the track slippery or something? Did somebody turn on the sprinklers? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I think Taylor just got onto that. I think it's AstroTurf in turn 2. That's like, as the curbs end, there's AstroTurf, and I've spun there a couple times, and it's not fun. But I think...
Yeah, it definitely isn't fun. I have experienced it as well, admittedly. But yeah, that has definitely caught him out. Meanwhile, back over at the front, I just want to note, Alphanesis got past Chile and is now up into P2. What a start Alphanesis has had, as he is now up into second place. Can he try and chase after Port, who's already built a gap to 4.8, I must say. Lightning pace from the Unite Virtuosi.
Yeah, Port's just had a commanding start. Has made the most of his race. And is definitely driving as fast and clean as he can right now. Yellow flags and
yeah, but that's definitely crucial.
I think that's...
I believe that was for Bois,
yeah.
as he actually went off a little bit.
Yeah, but I think
And
you're
I would
right.
suspect that he goes into pits. Yes, he does. The ball with front wing damage. He's now going to come into the pits to change his front wing and most likely go onto a set of the medium compounded tire. I believe this would be around the time where drivers would pit, maybe a lap later. So we'll just have to see who bites first, who comes into the pits, and who will get that that spicy undercut that everyone loves. The undercut is known to be powerful in Formula 2. It can happen again. Very much so. I think one person that might bite. Oh! Chili's round!
Oh!
The angle I got was honestly weird. I was on board with Feta there as he was just making his way through turn 10, and the next thing I just see pop up on the left-hand side was Chili. So I think Chili got onto the curb at the exit of turn 9, and that has absolutely ruined his race. Someone whose race has been absolutely ruined is Drix, actually. He's retired in the pits.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best weekend for him, but he'll look to hopefully come back next week and pick up some more points.
I called it. Feta was the first to bite. He is into the pits. Undoubtedly be a set of medium compounded tire for the Campos driver. Yes, it is. And, well, he'll be the first to go onto the mediums. His teammate comes in as well. Obviously, he has front wing damage, so he has a huge reason to pit. Actually, he doesn't even have a front wing at all. And that's just absolutely ruined his race. One person that's still going, though, is Taylor, but he doesn't have that much of front wing damage. If you look, it's only end plate damage for Taylor.
Yeah, and with the simplified aerodynamics of Formula 2, losing an end plate or maybe even a little bit of the wing isn't going to be as bad as it is in F1.
That is definitely true. You get front wing damage in Formula 1, you might as well just be 5 seconds up. You might as well be a 2019 Williams. Or no, not 2019 Williams. Hold on, what's the worst car? Shoot, I can't think of it. No, hold on. If I remember back in the day, there was a Lola back in like the 1990s.
Yep.
That was like 12 seconds off the pace or something.
I think it was 2000s, because I'm pretty sure their goal was to be in F1 by
Could have been, yeah.
2000? And then their car was underdeveloped and lacked quite a lot of paces towards into the pits.
Yeah, the Lola lacked power and downforce, and yeah, Port is into the pits. Same with Mean Fern, so they are both decided to abandon the the super sauces. Looking on board with Mean Fern, they do not look pretty, so I'm not surprised. And well, Port responding to Feta, and well, he's gotten a clear gap to Feta behind. Obviously, he had a clear gap before that, and well, that's just solidified it. Taylor Clan, he hasn't pitted yet, but he is down to P5. He get to see his championship rival in front. And well, after the points he gained in the sprint race, the feature race, this is going to be absolutely detrimental to his championship. Unless this is a late race safety car, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. It's happened before. So Alphanesis now leads this race. Obviously, he hasn't pitted yet, so we'll have to see what he does. I would presume that he goes to pits soon. Oh. Hang on. I have to do something real quick, so you might have to take the reins for just a little bit.
Okay.
It won't be long. I'll just be on board with Alphanesis, I guess. As he goes into the pits. So, there we go.
Yep, it looks like Alpha's into the pits. Chile picks up a 3-second time penalty. Which isn't the best, as he's already got 3 seconds, which add up to 6 seconds. Yeah, that's right, I passed first grade. The Bees is into the pits. Anyone else pitting this lap? Not yet. It's like everybody, except for the Bees, is on mediums. Bees is the only person on track still on the ultra soft compound.
There we go. I have finished. What's happened?
Not much has happened. The Bees.
Looks like Alpha Nesis and the Bees have pitted by the looks of it.
Yeah, Alpha pitted, the Bees pitted. But surprisingly, the
Bees is on.
Yeah, he's on the
Bees
ultra
is
soft.
on this. Yeah. Well, super softs, but yeah. The ultra softs are back in 2018. If only we had those compounds, but yeah, unfortunately not. So that's interesting. So he's probably thinking that might be a two-stop. Taylor Klein grabs a 3-second time penalty, and that's definitely not going to help his race as he's now under pressure from Alpha Nesis behind. Alpha Nesis trying to go around the outside of Taylor Klein, but it's just nothing doing unless he can go for the switchback here at the exit. Just not enough, and he's just going to have to stay behind for another lap unless he actually gets a really good run there out of turn 14, which he does, but it is just not enough. He's not able to do that super move that he did before. You grab the DRS, though, on Taylor Klein, and this looks to be an easy move for the MP Motorsport if he's able to get alongside just in time, which he does. And he is now up into P3, provisionally P2, since Hooplicious has not pitted yet.
Yeah, I think Coop and Taylor are the only ones to not pit so far.
You would be correct. As they obviously started on the medium compound tire, so they can go longer into this race. They can make the tires last, and well, we'll see if they can make a charge at the dying laps of this Grand Prix. Can Hooplicious go back-to-back for podiums is the question. Maybe even back-to-back for wins if he has the pace to do so. Obviously, we know he has the pace. He showed it. But it's just the question is, can he have enough pace to do it? Have to find out.
Yeah, all races looked pretty consistent and stayed pretty clean. Just comes down to the pit strategy and what everyone else does.
Yeah, that'll definitely be down to well, how that'll pan out, really. Bit of battle brewing between Taylor Klein and Feta now, as Feta is looking to overtake Taylor for P4. I'm getting something from Skeppy right now for realistic, and I am a bit concerned as to why.
Oh, Feta lost a little bit of time in the exit of turn 1, just got onto those curbs, and that unsettled his car a little bit. Dropped back about 6/10. He runs wide into the grass.
Yeah, he did. That's not going to help him at all. That'll definitely not help his race now. But we'll see if he can clutch back. Ooh, squarely right there for the Campos. He's struggling. We'll have to see if he can catch back up to Taylor Klein. I suspect he would, obviously being on fresher mediums compared to Taylor Klein's damaged car. But we'll just see if Taylor Klein pits in the next couple of laps due to that front wing damage. Looked like for a second he got more damage. I was wrong.
Oops into the pits.
Oh yeah. So he's deciding to get off of the medium compound tire. That's actually a bit of a balance, you know? 9 laps on mediums, 8 laps on super softs. So maybe the tire wear isn't as bad as I thought. Unless Hooplicious is just a Sergio Perez.
Oh, it's gonna be tight. Never mind.
Alphanistas has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with the 1:39.4. He is looking to challenge Port for the lead of this race. Hoopless just not able to get ahead of Feta in this race. Taylor Clan into the pits, changes his front wing for good measure, and is now onto a set of super soft compound tire. And he's just gonna have to make amends for that incident at turn 2. One person who's definitely gonna make amends is gonna be Hoop. He's gonna be the fastest driver out there.
Yeah, I think Hoop and Taylor are going to be the fastest on track. If they're... Oh, it's chilly spins going through turn 2.
Oh.
Got onto that AstroTurf and spun. Pretty similar to Taylor's spin.
But not hitting the wall. Alphanistas grabs a 3-second time penalty. So that charge has just been made even harder. And well, if he's able to get 6 seconds, I'd be amazed. But that's going to be hard to do. We'll have to find it out. Someone who is going to most likely make up seconds, though, is going to be Hoop once he gets past Feta, which he looks to be doing so after the exit of turn 16. He has the DRS on the camp boss. He's got the slipstream. He's got the much better tires. Is he able to get alongside the camp boss enough? Feta defends the inside. Hoopless just braking a little bit early there, so I think he's trying to get the exit. He got a 3-second time penalty though, and that's not going to help him at all. And he's looking for the inside now, dummies him, goes around the outside into turn 3. Is he able to make the move stick on the camp boss? Close between the two. Hoopless just now has the inside into turn 4, and he now takes P3, but he has to build a gap if he wants to keep it.
Oh, it's Feta picked up a 3-second.
Oh, never mind. Guess that's not happening. So Hooplicious now just has to make sure that Feta doesn't get him back, needless to say. Jeez. I just saw how close Feta and Hoop got to the wall there, leaving absolutely no margin for error. Feta has a DRS on Hooplicious once again, but this DRS straight just a bit too short, and he's just gonna have to stay behind, and he's most likely gonna lose a lot of time. Oh! I think his rear just slid a little bit there. And Feta, well, he managed to keep it, but a bit of a moment there. That's not what he wanted.
Yeah, that's definitely not ideal.
That's the fastest lap.
That definitely wasn't ideal from Feta as he's trying to gain on Hoop.
But it looks like Hoop has already just pulled away, so about that, nah. Hoop just said no. DeBees is into the pits. So it's a 2-stop, interestingly. Doesn't look like he has a puncture. Interesting. Taylor Clan now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:34.5, so he's definitely the fastest car out on track. What could have been, though? What could have been if he did not spin? I just want to note, Hoop has already built a 3.9 second gap to Feta behind. That is just the tire difference right there.
Yeah, the brand new Super Soft's going to work. Just putting in the laps and allowing Hoop to gain quite a lot of time in front.
Yeah, he definitely is gaining a lot of time in front. Yellow flag.
It's Days Freak.
For Days Freak.
Yep.
He's managed to keep it going, though, so there will not be a late race safety cars. I think it might actually be a bit too late now for safety cars.
Yep. Yeah, with how spread out the last few are, it would definitely, the safety car would definitely take it all the way to the end.
And which obviously in this game, you can't do that. The game doesn't do that. It will just leave 2 laps left of racing. It's weird how that does that, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. But we move. I mean, it happened yesterday in my league race, so
Yeah.
you know, things happen.
That was a crazy race for sure.
It was, but it pained me at the same time. If that didn't happen, I probably could have won that, but
Yeah.
you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I still grabbed a podium, so I mean, hey,
For sure.
we move. And 2 of the people that were on the podium are the top 2 right now, Port and Alpha. Speaking of which, Alpha Nisus has been gaining slowly on Port.
Yeah, Port's starting to see Alphanesis in his ears.
Well, maybe. It might be just a little speck right now, but
Yeah.
that could change. See, what definitely wouldn't help is if Port got a 3-second time penalty, but looks like he's kind of taking it easy as of right now. Hooplicious now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:34.5, as he is right now still holding on to a podium and is slowly gaining on the 2 in front. Blue flags being waved. I believe that is for Days Freak, as he is letting the top 2. He's just letting the top 2 go as he is not fighting them. Well, at least Days Freak at the end of all this, as he actually goes wide, he'll still grab a point. And I think he'll be pretty happy about that. 1.7 seconds between Alphanesis and Port now. Oh! Port makes a mistake. He's just made a mistake at the exit of turn 10. And Alphanesis, does he have DRS? I think he just missed out. But Alphanesis has now gained a lot of time to Port.
Yeah, it'll be a tall order to pull out 3 seconds and 2 laps, but
Just looking over at Alphanesis, he is leaving nothing on the table in terms of track limits, trying to gain on Port more and more. And now, being within 1 second, he has the aid of DRS to help him now. Oh! Getting really swirly at the exit of the final corner. But he manages to keep it out of the wall. Nearly set a personal best on that lap for good measure. Someone who is setting best laps, though, is Hoopalicious. He sets another fastest lap with a 1:34.4. And, well, that is his pace, but unfortunately, he's just not close enough to to grab onto the lead of this race. As Port is just too far. 5.6. Personal best in the first sector for Port, so he's definitely pushing, but someone who definitely went faster in the first sector was Alphanesis behind. Feta grabs a 3-second time penalty, but that will definitely not affect his race position, as he is a long way clear of Mean Fern behind. And, well, someone who isn't clear of the other car behind, Port, now getting a bit of pressure from Alphanesis behind. They have battled in Formula 2 before. We can see another battle once again. Chile grabs a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help his race, as DeBees is closing onto the back of the Campos. But Alphanesis could be shaping up a move on the last couple of laps.
yeah, really closing on the back of Port now. Just 4 tenths between the two.
Alphanesis looking super brave on the brakes. He has the DRS now on the main straight. Last lap of the Grand Prix now. Can Alphanesis make a move on the left-hand side? No, Port just covers it off unless Alphanesis can get a great exit. The yellow flag, that is for Taylor Clan, but we're going to stay on the lead. Alphanesis gets a great exit out of turn 2. They're going wheel to wheel now. Down into turn 3. Port having the inside. Alphanesis trying to go around the outside. Little bit of rear locking for the MP Motorsport, and he just has to stay behind. It was just not enough.
Yeah, there's definitely
I
quite a
think-
lot.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, what was that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh. Mate, I'm giving you it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Take
say,
it.
there's definitely quite a lot of action going on up front. As it looks like just going through the first sector, Port and Alpha Nieces are just so close to each other.
And they haven't even separated an inch as Alphanesis is closing once again on Port. And he's definitely going to have the DRS down into turn 13. Can he get a good exit out of this corner? Port gets a 3-second time penalty. That is going to be crucial. Alphanesis now has the DRS. This race has been blown wide open. Alphanesis, he's going to try and go around the outside into turn,
They
turn
contact.
13.
They touch.
They're still alongside are the two. And yeah, there was contact. Alphanesis, he's trying. It's just not enough. Port shoves him wide. And Port, by just the skin of his teeth, it looks like he is going to grab the lead in this race. Albanese is understeering through the final corner. Port, 3 seconds on the last lap. That means nothing to him as he grabs the feature race win ahead of Alphanesis. That was down to the wire between those two. Hooplicious grabs third place and a podium. A good comeback for him in this race. Feta will grab P4 just off of the podium, but still a great haul of points for the Camp Boss. Meanfern will come across the line for P5. That's a good haul of points for him. But the top two, wow.
Wow. That was really, really good racing the last couple of laps. Just wow.
It was close racing, but yeah, it was close racing. But it was it was hard racing nonetheless. Taylor Khan came across the line for P6. What could have been for his race? Chile will come across the line for P7, but the Bees due to the fact that Chile had 9 seconds, that's definitely not going to help him. Dave's Freak retires into the pits, but he will grab a singular point in this race due to completing 90% of this race.
Not into the pits, just before the line.
Is it?
Yeah, it was just before the line.
Interesting. Ball will come across the line for P9. Double points finish for the ART. But that last lap, wow.
Alphanesis picks up driver of the day.
Well, I'm not surprised by that. He started back in the 5th row, I believe, and he managed to climb up to nearly take the win of the race. But Port built a gap at the start of the race, under pressure on the last lap, but he managed to hold on and grab a win here in Australia. Alphanesis will have to settle for P2. Hooplicious on the alternate strategy. He grabs a podium. And, well, what a race at the last lap, needless to say.
Yeah, when Port got that 3-second, that really blew it wide open, but then Alphanesis just went wide onto the gravel a little bit, and that caused him to lose a little bit of time, and Port took the win by 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, he definitely did that, and not only did he do that, but he also grabbed the most amount of points in this on the 2 races. 39 points for the championship leader, gaining 19 points on his rival. That is definitely going to help him. Hooplicious grabs the second most amount of points in this race with 32 after grabbing both 15 points in not only the sprint race, but also the feature race. Alphanesis, so close to a win. It wasn't enough, however. But he'll grab the third most amount of points with a podium in the 3rd race and a decent haul of points in the 2nd race. Actually, I think, did he get a double podium? No, he didn't. No. But Taylor Clan with 20 points. Feta now with 18, a decent haul for him. Meanfern grabbing 14. Chile on his debut grabbing a decent haul of points, tying with Davies Bois. Double points finish for the ART. Drix managing to grab just 2 points due to gaining fastest lap in the sprint race. Dave's Freak having to settle for 1 point. And, well, not entirely the best of times for him. Let's go through the sprint race. The sprint race results. That's not, no, feature race. Sorry. Port just holding on to take the win ahead of Alphanesis. One heck of a battle between the two. Port just managing to hold on. Hooplicious grabbing a podium on the alternate strategy. He started 8th. And, well, he's definitely made that work. Feta grabs 4th nearly on the podium, but it just wasn't enough. Mean Fern grabbing 5th. Taylor Clan from the front row down to 6th after that spin in turn 2. DeBees grabs P7 ahead of Chili. Bois, P9. Days Freak, P10. After retiring just before the line. Drix, unfortunately, well, I guess you could say the only DNF, but Days Freak retired before. As, well, nothing is really loading, so I think we could just start off interviews immediately. And, Carbon, why don't you take it away with Alphanesis for P3?
Alphanesis, you ran an absolutely amazing second race, going from P9 on the grid to P2 and nearly a win in the last sector, with Port picking up a 3-second. What was going through your head in the last couple of corners?
I wasn't racing. Huh? Well, needless to say, you still gave it your all. And, well, you grabbed a podium from 9th on the grid in the feature race. Next week, though, we go over to the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo. How do you feel on that track? What are your thoughts? Well, hopefully we'll see more of that next week. And, well, hopefully you put on a good show. And, well, I can't wait. And, well, needless to say, well done to you, grabbing 26 points here in the Australian Grand Prix. As we now move on for P2, Hooplicious. Carbon, take it away once again.
Hooplicious, you ran an absolutely amazing weekend, starting from pole position in the sprint race, going, third place in the sprint race.
I think.
Yeah, going from 3rd place to P1 in the sprint race, and then P8 to P3 in the feature race. You picked up an amazing haul of points. What are your thoughts on the weekend?
I mean, yeah, the first race went, perfect, pretty much. I got into the lead and it was straightforward from there. Just get it to the end and bring it home. And then the second race, we started from 8th. And then, the first 4 laps with Taylor, I was battling quite a lot. We lost so much time. Without that, maybe I could have fought for the win. But, I'm happy with what I got.
Well, I'd be disappointed if you weren't happy with it. But nonetheless, grabbing 15 points in both races and a fastest lap for good measure in here. Next week, though, Brazil. How do you feel?
Brazil has never been one of my better tracks, but, the track is fun to drive. So, I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Congratulations on grabbing a double podium finish here at the Australian Grand Prix, Hoop. And, well, we shall now move on for P1. Port, not entirely the best of times in the feature race. The sprint race. My apologies, we still managed to grab 10 points. But it was looking comfortable for you in the feature race. But on the last lap, the amount of pressure that you got in a 3-second for good measure didn't exactly help. But you still managed to grab the win. What were your thoughts on that last lap? Oh my god. Hold on. Just one quick thing. Carbon, you're gonna have to take over. I have to quickly do something.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely looking pretty good in the championship battle, picking up another 39 points to add to your total. As
Turns
with the
out
other,
I forgot to include my audio there, so I'm just gonna repeat everything I just said.
sounds
Um,
good.
yeah, so I'm just fucking clearing the field, and 1.6 seconds in quali, and yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah, moving on to Brazil next week. How do you feel?
Brazil's gonna be good. Uh, I like that track. I'm pretty quick there, and it's fun in F2. So
Yeah, I've done a couple of time trial laps around Brazil in F2, and it was definitely a lot of fun.
yeah, it should be good. Cool.
Well, sorry, I was gone. I was gone. Is everything all done, or?
Uh, Unless you have any other questions.
Excuse me, just for one moment.